It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28th, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned as the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. We are just coming off of SPAC night one. What a show. I listened to it on Sirius XM radio on the DMB radio channel 30. Shout out to the crew out there, Ari and the rest of the people that make it possible for every single Friday night show to be, listened to. For fans like me who decided to skip SPAC this year. And I, in some ways, regret not going to night one for What You Are. But at the same time, I kind of knew, listen, I'm going to skip SPAC this year. I'm going to MSG. I'm going to Mohegan. I'm going to see them with Dave and Tim. I have to make some adult decisions and say, look, I have the money, but I'm going to save the money and invest the money in my future. So here we are. I'm at the crib, 2.5 hours away or so. in Connecticut, and a lot of you guys are either like me at the crib, like, man, wish I would have went to this. And then some people that actually are going to be, we're going to be bringing on the show that are there, as this is a destination venue for many people. Like my friend John, we're going to ask John about how this compares to Deer Creek Night 1 as far as energy, crowd, differences, pros and cons, as he was at Deer Creek. So we'll get his live reaction. I'm going to work on getting that audio up. I'm having some issues, and I'll see if I can work through it to try to get that audio better for the intro. I just made a little bit of an intro clip today. Going to try to sharpen that up as well. And then also for the music that comes on. So this is SPAC Night 1. And let's see if we can get, I want to make sure people can get this link that I sent. Okay, let's see. Done. I need to copy this link. Trying to get it to a couple people, but this was a heck of a show. To me, the best night one of the tour. Best night one of the tour because of what we got here, the way it sounded, the way. So let's see if I can get this to Poketendo TV. Poketendo TV, if you're in, let us know. And then we're gonna, if you're watching, John Oko here, I'm gonna message John here as well, because the main thing we're gonna try to get, like I said, some people on. But let's pull up. We're gonna swap these out. We're gonna zoom in. And Richard says, "Thank you for what I do." Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for the people who have. I've been very blessed to have people come in from California shows to Wisconsin shows to Bend, Oregon. Maria, who's back at this show after making the West Coast trip back to, she's based on the East Coast, so she's back closer to home for SPAC. But thank you guys who have come on. If you guys are watching for the first time, this is a show I do after most shows. There's very few shows I haven't covered. And what the goal is to get live reaction from people at the show. And in this case, listening to the show, I'm going to give my reactions as well. I wish I was there tomorrow. So you're saying, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be going. My plan is to go to SPAC next year. That is the plan here. And then Oh, so John says, this is John O. He says, hey, wasn't there tonight, we'll be there tomorrow night. Tonight, set up tomorrow night to be a very good show. Absolutely. When we look at, I mean, this show is good regardless, but you have Jimmy Thing played, right? You have Jimmy Thing played. You have That Girl Is You played, right? You have Don't Drink the Water, Sister. You have that kind of cookie cutter closer. You have Louisiana Bayou played. You have YM is a good song, but the more Big Whiskey out of the way, the better, in my opinion. You got the the partials from Jimmy Thing out of the way, right? And around it is still a great show. And to me, this is the best night one for a couple of reasons. First off, we get a rye whiskey, which I don't think anyone had that opener. If you had that opener, you are a genius, and or maybe you snuck the set list, because this is the first full band rye whiskey. And this is something that first time since 2009, first time as the opener full band. Oh no, first time has been played full band since 8509. First time plays opener since 11318. And we got Matt he's stuck in traffic leaving the venue. Matt, are you going home? Are you going home to Rhode Island or are you going back to the hotel? That's a long drive. Richard says maybe we get an alligator pie. I hope not. Very cool to get that out for the Super Bowl show back in 2018. We don't need an alligator pie. What we need from whiskey is dive in. We need dive in. That'd be awesome if they liberated dive in. Other than that, tomorrow I think is something where you want to get a bunch of rarities and some stuff that's been played, like Sweet Up and Down, Stone, Captain. You want to get those things, but tomorrow is definitely something where we want to get we want to stray away from big whiskey. Okay, Matt, do you want to call in? Matt, let me know if you want to call in, because what we have is I have John that's going to be calling in. I have Poketendo TV. I haven't heard back from him yet. But if you want to call in, Matt, audio only, I can send you a link via Twitter. If not, no worries. If you're trying to go to sleep, if you got stuff to party after this, that's no worries. Richard says drunken soldier. Yeah, love to see a drunken soldier come out again. But if anything, I said on Twitter today, I'd rather just if they can stray away from the world and come tomorrow and bust out stuff from the core four, or like tonight every day, the What You Are, those are really, really, really key things. Before we get to our guests as well, if you guys were on the Instagram live, one thing that was interesting, Rab had talked about the fact that the crew had been watching some of the crate challenges. If you guys that saw those, or people, it was mostly a hood challenge, right, in the streets. But there was it was viral this summer. People were walking up the crates and down the crates without trying to fall. A lot of people did fall. So I guess the band has been laughing at one time during warm-ups, I guess. I think Rab, they couldn't hold their laughter watching these crate challenges while trying to do their vocal warm-ups. So pretty cool input. Like I said, rye whiskey, Into One Sweet World. And the first two songs on Sirius, they gave me the impression that this was going to be a better mixed show. Beach Ball or Busted Stuff, yes. Snow Outside, I mean, again, if not that I wouldn't want to hear it, it's a good song, but again, I think the stuff they need to go towards, Beach Ball is actually a great B-side to Big Whiskey, the Little Red Bird companion disc that was iTunes exclusive if you pre-ordered. Beach Ball, Busted Stuff. Okay. So Smooth Rider, I mean, I've heard of Smooth Rider, like a 50% Smooth Rider. I don't want. I mean, again, if it's played, it'd be cool, but not something I would want. Again, forget Stand Up, right? Even American Baby, because again, I'm just trying to eliminate albums that we don't want. We don't want Stand Up. We don't want Come Tomorrow. Away from the World is hit or miss. Yeah, Crazy Easy, an 04 song. That's what I would think. But the first two songs, well mixed. That Girl Is You is the first bathroom break song. I wish that song would go away, to be honest. We don't need that song anymore. And I said, look, let's just get rid of Come Tomorrow for this tour. I actually like the newer stuff better than the Come Tomorrow stuff. And look, Virginia in the Rain, Black and Bluebird are two special songs to me that to me rise above the cream of the crop in the post-Roy era. But I'd rather just have those go away if they just get rid of the whole album, right? And start playing some of the newer stuff. The Pig we have here, we had the last verse. Dave kind of forgot the lyrics and looked over to Rashawn, per my friend John, who was at the show. And, he kind of messed that up. But I'd rather have Dave mess up Pig than play That Girl Is You. He could have played Pig twice and messed it up both times. And I would have been, I'd rather have that than That Girl Is You. Sweet Sound, Sweet So Damn Lucky, a nice little run again. Can't Stop. I think that song needs to stop. But it's night one. It's a song Dave likes. Walk Around the Moon sounded awesome. been played 13 times, but hasn't been played as often especially with Carter and Fonz out. It hasn't been played that often, and I really love this song. I love this song. I love the flute Jeff plays in it. And then we get a You Never Know. So Pig, at this point, 9 in, Pig and You Never Know are special. Like that's what you expect from SPAC Night 1 is you get 2 different songs that aren't commonly played. There's been 7 You Never Knows, which is above average. And there's been 6 Pigs, but still, these are special gems. They can play them 20 times, but you expect these at SPAC. Pig and You Never Know were two nice hits there for the 4 spot and the 9 spot. Minaret's nice, and I love how, again, Dave's guitar is more focused in for this year, and you hear that on the Sirius XM, and you still have the other effects behind them. And then we get a Jimmy thing. This is where you kind of go to the bathroom. I can't get no satisfaction. It's only been the 4th one, but I think they need to retire that. I mean, again, it's a special song, and it was nice to get it the day Charlie Watts passed. But I think they need to can that. But again, if that's your cover, I'll take that over Sledgehammer. If that's the one cover of the night, I'll take it over Watchtower. Now, here is where we get into another awesome run here. We get into 41, Say Goodbye. And then we have a Why I Am, which, hey, it is what it is. And I think it's still a good song. I don't like when Dave does rock. I'd rather, I like the everyday rock. Speaking of that, I like the What You Are, Fool to Think rock, Dave. I don't like the big whiskey rock stuff. It's cool. Does it flow? And I know why they play it because the crowd loves it, but I could do without it. But the 41 Say Goodbye is another special gem for night 1. For night 1, that is a special thing. That is a very, very special thing. I think that should be, I know they play So Much to Say, Bridge too much. 41 Say Goodbye should be played as much as that. And I thought that was awesome to get. And then we have, like I said, What You Are. That was a big moment in the show. And actually, if I go on Twitter, this was my reaction to What You Are. This is a song I've been chasing forever. This is one of the songs that, to me, is one of the best close to end of set or into set DMB songs. And this was my reaction to it. We can let me know if you guys have issues hearing this. But
what? Yo, this song, I've been chasing this song for almost a decade. I don't think y'all understand. Let's let it play. What?
that was my reaction to that song, man. Like, to me, it is one of the best songs, one of the most underrated DMB songs. The energy on that song is awesome, and it fits this band the best. The everyday songs are 20 years old this year. They fit this band the best. Fool to Think, Sleep to Dreamer, If I Had It All, So Right, What You Are, and even Every Day, right? It fits Buddy. That's one of the biggest shockers of 2018 is that people, like, Every Day became, it was a Boyd Tinsley song that got taken over Rocco says, I'll get it at MSG. I hope so. The problem is I'm only going to MSG night 2. They did play it at MSG. I believe it was night 1 back in 18, which was a great winter tour. And they played it. I believe they played it just as they had played it another time before. I have to listen back to it. No. I want to say they played it like the funky version. There's a one from 2010 where they played it funky. And I think in 2018 they played it that way. I'm hoping we get it. After that, after What You Are, you get a Lover Lay Down, which is a commonly, recently it's been played. It's played I think in Gore SPAC Night 2 2018 when I was there. But awesome to get that. Lover Lay Down. Then we get after Lover Lay Down. You could have left the show. Oh, they closed the set. Okay, they did close it. Okay. They could have, I mean, honestly, I think if someone gave you the set list around What You Are, I would have left after Lover Lay Down. Bayou does sound tight. It's just not a good song. It's a pretty cool jam, but it's a trash song. Stay is okay. Sister, Don't Drink the Water. If you've been to other shows, if this was not your first DMB show, I would have beat the traffic. All right, and we have the homie John Dix has arrived at the hotel. We're gonna bring him in. You guys have seen him come in back in North Carolina. You've seen him pull up at the Gorge. We brought him in at the mobile studio. He's been in a couple others. This was show number 83. Show number 83. He started during one of the most brutal eras of the band, the stand-up era, as far as when he was really going ham with the band. I saw some stuff a little before that, but he started with stand-up, and here he is back in the Come Tomorrow era, but it's a little better than Come Tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on Mr. John Dix.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, John. What did you think of SPAC Night 1?
It was an odd set. I had some highlights, had some low lights, and a very, very low light ending. I walked to the parking lot halfway through Don't Drink.
We were just talking about
probably Say Goodbye. Yeah.
Okay, so Say Goodbye was the highlight. John, we may need to bring you. Hold on.
Turn my head.
Yeah, fisticuffs. Let me actually. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call you.
Okay.
Because it's a little bit. The Wi-Fi there. I don't know, man. It's like
I'm not even on the Wi-Fi. I'm just like on my mobile data.
Oh, that's why. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna disconnect you. We'll give you a call. All right. But that's John Dix. That's what he looks like. He is the poster king. He got secured the post today. We'll get to that in a moment. We're gonna disconnect and add him back in. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see.
Good evening, sir.
Hello. Can you guys hear John okay? All right. So John, go ahead. Continue on as far as about tonight.
Like I said, it was I would say it was a kind of an unbalanced set. Had some highlights, a lot more lowlights. That Girl Is You definitely was a bathroom break out the gate. Louisiana Bayou, another bathroom break. Jimmy Thing, Satisfaction, more breaks to the bathroom. I'm tired. I don't want to hear Satisfaction. So what irritates me about D&B the most is like they'll play Satisfaction flawlessly, but then he'll fuck up Pig or Lover Lay Down. Like like multiple times he'll fuck up his own songs. But when it's a cover though, we gotta nail this. So that was kind of like nerve wracking. But overall, it was a fun SPAC Night 1. The What You Are tour debut. That was definitely a treat for 2021 for sure. But and so it was a solid night 1. Like I said, I walked to the parking lot halfway through Don't Drink. and back in the hotel less than 15 minutes after. So I'm ready for night 2. We got all the bullshit out of the way. As far as Jimmy thing, Bayou, That Girl Is You. So tomorrow night 2 should be a banger of a set, I'm hoping.
So you weren't chasing That Girl Is You. You haven't heard it since the Gorge. It's been a long time.
Yeah, fuck out of here with that one, dude. I don't want to mess up your algorithm, my bad. But I do want to respect your algorithm. But yeah, screw that song. It sucks.
Okay. Nah, we agree. Yeah. And actually, what we were saying, I don't know if you heard us before. I was saying you could have left this show after Lover Lay Down.
Yeah.
I mean, Bayou, Stay, Sister. You know, you've already heard the Sister spiel, which he's, he's getting that political clout.
Yeah,
clout
I hate Liberal Dave, by the way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I said you could have left. You could have left after Lover, but you didn't know. I mean, you didn't know who knew what was coming. You could have been out in the parking lot, and it's a 2-step into Halloween. So I don't blame you for waiting. And I did the same thing. Mansfield. Now, the other question I had, can you compare this night 1 as far as energy, crowd, experience to Deer Creek night 1?
No, nothing. No, not close to Deer Creek night 1 as far as energy wise. SPAC is a more casual crowd as far as like the entirety of the audience. What is wrong with you? We're all laughing at you. No, SPAC is a more casual crowd. Like the lawn, everyone said Deer Creek from the lawn. Amateur hour. Our friends are giving me shit over that take. Yeah, they're giving me crap over that take. But I think Deer Creek is way more intense. I feel like the Deer Creek audience is way more intense than SPAC. If you're into like the idea crowd, Deer Creek's the way to. So I'm gonna pass to Dino. He's been to over 300 shows.
All right.
By the way, so we're gonna give Dino, let him give his take. Go ahead, Dino.
Yeah, I feel as though tonight was great. I do agree with John, where unfortunately you probably could have left with 5 or 6 songs left in the set list. But with that being said, the early to mid was a great set list. Unfortunately, and not uncommon, they kind of pooped at the bed, kind of towards the ending.
That was Dino on there. And here's Red, by the way, with his opinion on the show.
Hi, I'm Red, 111th show tonight. Here's the thing. Like, you can look at Jimmy Thing on a set list, and Jimmy Thing, Jimmy Thing is Jimmy Thing on a set list. But I'm telling you, in that orchestra, there's 7,000 people singing Satisfaction. I mean, it's not people are sitting down for that stuff, okay?
Right.
People are into that.
As much as I hate Jimmy,
People
that was and Satisfaction, to be fair, was its own song.
Yeah.
It was not Jimmy Thing. Jimmy Thing ended, and they played Satisfaction. That is 2 completely different sons.
Like, if we wanted,
that's not a fair take.
Like, if you think of like what Dave is thinking about when he's constructing a set list, if he's like, okay, 20,000 people are going to go crazy for this Jimmy Thing with a Satisfaction tag, then that probably has some weight. If it's like, oh, let's play Sugar Will, and 100 people are like, yay, Sugar Will. So you get, fortunately, those 100 people are us.
Right. I've been to Hartford, and I'm going nuts during Captain, and everyone's going to the bathroom. Oh, nice. Same here. I'm born and raised Hartford County myself. So, but yeah, that's one thing we talk about on this show is that the things that I don't like I don't like Bayou, I don't like Jimmy. I didn't want Satisfaction.
Nobody likes that bullshit.
Right. Well, the thing is, in this crowd, though,
I knew what I was doing.
yeah, I can't deny that when I'm at the show, Jimmy Thing is a crowd moment. I've gotten 2 Satisfactions out of the 4, and both times the crowd goes nuts. Fair weather fans that are there with their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their side chick, they go nuts because it's a Stones cover. So I can't deny that some of those things do get the crowd going. And it's just like you go to a football game, 90% of the crowd doesn't know the backup, nose tackle. So it's, those, I do agree that Jimmy Thing and some other moments that aren't desired by, people who go to, hundreds of shows, it's something that the fair weather fan, the casual fan loves. So.
Still there?
Yeah, still here.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to wrap up with these posters real quick before I have to hop off?
We're gonna do a full. That's gonna be a special. So stay tuned. I'm gonna work that out. That's gonna be a whole nother show.
Gotcha.
We're gonna talk about the poster controversies and everything there with you. And so going into, I guess, John, your friends there now. What is their take on the SPAC crowd tonight compared to your take?
What's your take on the SPAC crowd?
Generally the SPAC crowd, in my opinion, is kind of a smart crowd, if you will. Right. It was pretty good in general. There was a minimal chompers, if you will, if you followed the fish. But either way, it was a lot of fans that kind of knew what they were doing. There was a lot of fans that generally didn't kind of talk during songs, which is nice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was a good crowd, in my opinion.
Gotcha. I always say it's the Fenway Park of the DMB tour. It's an intimate venue. The upstate New York and people from Connecticut, other places, they know the songs. Just like if you go to Fenway and there's fans that know baseball. They're not just there because it's a business trip. So I feel like SPAC is the Fenway of the tour because of that you have fans that are knowledgeable. They're not like, what's that song after 41? Say good what? Like they know, they're going to know that stuff. It's expected. I remember getting a Stone one year and everyone's just like, oh yeah, we get this, this is Stone, whatever. So that's what I love about the crowd. And I kind of regret somewhat not going.
The crowd was dope. We were lucky. We were kind of initially maybe 5 to 6 rows back, buddy side, and then we kind of upgraded ourselves into the pit, and we were kind of helping the Tapers do their thing, which God bless them. The Tapers, we're very lucky to have them. It's not an easy thing to do, and they certainly take time out of their day, and that's a shitload of money, poop load of money, whatever, that they do. And, we're lucky that we have them. So, side note. But anyway, we ended up in the pit, my wife and I, and we kind of, yeah. And my wife, while we're at, obviously. Anyway, sorry. We ended up in the pit, and it was obviously awesome, as you might imagine. Just seeing such great musicians so close. So thank you.
All right. Well, we thank you guys, Dino, John, everyone else that chipped in with you guys. You guys definitely are all veterans. So we appreciate your input, and hope you guys enjoy night 2.
All right, brother. We'll be back tomorrow night for some more input.
All right.
I'll have some input for you.
All right.
Thank you, man. Have a good evening.
All right. You too. Peace.
All right.
All right. So special thanks to John Dix. And again, he's 83. Both of the people he's with are over 100. And we're going to bring in Aria here in a moment. And if you guys remember, Aria was with us for Bend, Oregon, and gave some of her input on the show. But I definitely, like I say on this show, one of the things is, as much as, even with the SPAC, there's certain things that are just going to get the whole crowd fired up. That's why they don't just play deep cuts, where if you go to what I consider a true jam band, right? A true jam band will play out their whole catalog in a week or two. But that's like their crowd, like they don't have casual fans per se. And even their new fans, they're into other jam bands. So they're just in for the experience to learn as many songs as possible every show. So that's where DMB is in a gray area. And that gray area gets them praise. It gets them the sustainability of their tour, as why they can still fill up an amphitheater. But it also does, with that gray area, you have people that are never fully satisfied. There were probably people that were like, what is What You Are? What is Love? Like Love Where They Lay Down is a slow song. If you didn't have your girl with you, if you didn't have someone with you, the significant other, you're probably you probably didn't care as much for Love or Lay Down, especially if you were, 6 beers in on the lawn. So that's why DMB, they really have, it's almost a curse that they give you a little bit of variety versus either doing a whole unique show every single night or just doing the same set every night and people knowing you're going to get the hits there. So let's see. I'll wait for Rhea. Still trying to log in. All right, Aria, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So tell us about tonight.
It was awesome as usual. The energy was great, and I like the song selections, but of course I'm chasing Halloween.
Right. Yeah, that's the one you're chasing. We talked to you back in Bend, Oregon, and tonight there's a Sister Don't Drink the Water closer. So hopefully that just means that they're setting you up for tomorrow to get that first Halloween.
Yeah, hopefully.
What'd you think of the environment? I know you just came back from the West Coast. What do you think about night one environment here at SPAC?
This is my second time at SPAC. Compared to the West Coast, it's different. Not bad, not better, just different.
All right. And did it seem people were a little less nicer here, in upstate New York compared to the West Coast?
No, I mean equally as nice. It's hard to describe the difference. I mean, I've lived in New York City for 8 years, so I'm used to the intensity. The West Coast's a little bit more laid back.
Right. Hey, do you have the YouTube stream on in the background?
I don't think so. Are you hearing an echo from me?
Yeah.
Okay. Should I log out and log back in?
Let me see. I don't know if it maybe my headphones. I don't know what it is.
I can close it out and log back in.
Okay, yeah, let's try that and then see if we can. All right, thank you, Michael, for the feedback there. I will try to see if we can get her back. Yeah, so everyone has a song that they're definitely chasing for the tour, and just in general, there's people that you go to a lot of shows and you don't, you're trying to get there's always that one song you miss. Can you hear us now?
I can.
Okay, guys, how does that hear? Do you still hear any feedback? Just let us know in the chat if you do. There. And so now when you went to SPAC last time, was it night one or night two?
Both.
So you went to both night. Okay. All right. And what year was that?
2019.
Oh, okay. So you went 2019. Okay. So that was a unique year in the sense that there was only 2019, there was only, I don't think the first night there wasn't any real like tour debuts. Like tonight there was What You Are. Actually there's only one, I think there one, I'm gonna pull up the stats here. Now, did this now this night one compared to last time's night one? This one seemed like it was a better show, a more special show, or did the last night one seem better to you?
This night one seemed better, but I was in the balcony this year.
Okay. And where were
And
you?
in 2019 night one, I was on the lawn.
Oh, okay. And you were trying to did you get rid of your lawn? I know earlier today I saw you trying to get rid of the lawn seats.
I got rid of one lawn seat for tonight.
Okay. And how was it like actually being in the balcony compared to the lawn?
Oh, much more orderly. That's
good. Actually, I actually despise the SPAC lawn in the sense that it feels like you're at like a boxing match, but you're in like the casino watching Mike Tyson fight. So you can hear the crowd and you feel like you're at the event, but you can't see like the full event. And that's the one lawn that unless someone's going to give me a free ticket, that lawn to me is just too brutal. So I'm glad you got to hit the balcony for this time.
Thank you.
All right. And any other observations? What do you think about Dave as far as the pig moment where he kind of fumbled?
Oh, I always love pig. That was funny. I mean, they're professionals, but people make mistakes.
Absolutely. And I like when he does that, when he fumbles, you never know, or actually Pig in Mansfield in 2019, he messed up. Carter actually messed up the drum hit. And I actually kind of enjoy when they kind of fumble and then show you, hey, we can just turn this thing right back around and adjust on the fly. If that was me, I would have just been like, okay, we have to stop this song. But he kept going.
Yeah. Sign of a true professional.
Yeah. And to me, I think when he messes up lyrics or when he kind of struggles a little bit, I feel like he's pushing himself more to expand the catalog, to expand the night, where like some shows he's nailed every single word, but I felt like, they kind of just played it safe. It was a Tuesday night. So I prefer him to put all the chips in the center compared to, to risk a pig and a You Never Know in the same night. Those are two tough songs that he pulled out for you guys in the same night. So,
yeah.
Any other thoughts? Any other opinions about the show?
I mean, it was great. I did like it. Like I said, the energy was high, but I think it was also my row mates. If you're sitting next to people who are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, it's kind of boring. But the people next to me, we were dancing and singing, and it was great.
Oh, yeah, that does make a difference when you have friendly neighbors. It definitely enhances the experience. Although I'd rather have quiet neighbors than neighbors that talk in the middle of the song. But that was good that you had some good people around you there. And then for night 2 tomorrow, I know you want Halloween. Is there any other songs that you're hoping for?
I'm focused on Halloween.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, thank you again for coming. After a show, I know it's like you probably want to head to bed or grab something to eat. We really appreciate you coming on tonight, and we do hope you get that Halloween tomorrow night.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So that was Aria there. And so Michael says last stop. We'll see. I mean, the thing is, again, and let me pull this up here. This is the reality with SPAC because it is now a later show in this in the scheme of things. Because it is a later show, we're going to look at, this is what I compiled today. So these are the tour debuts for These are the tour debuts for SPAC. I had omitted 2017 because it's Dave and Tim. I actually went 2017 night one. Was awesome. You guys know how much I'm a fan of hearing Dave's guitar, and Tim was on acoustic, and I was in love with that Dave and Tim 17 tour, especially that show, the SPAC night one. Didn't go to night two, but was able to get warehouse tickets for night one. So these are the last couple of years, and this is really, you have the last year of Boyd, then you have the Buddy Strong years at SPAC. No shows in 2020 as well, and again 17 Dave and Tim. So 2016 there were no repeats, night one or night two. I mean no tour debuts, not no repeats, no tour debuts. So no tour debuts for 2016, and those shows were amazing. Just to give you a taste of the good life, make you want to stay. Let me stop. Let's pull up SPAC for 2016. But I just want to break this down because there's a lot of things everyone hopes for. The reality is you're only going to get a couple of new songs at SPAC per show. So SPAC 7, 15, 16. This was the show. So we're going to, let's move this over. So this is 2016. Again, no tour debuts, but we had Death on the High Seas. Typical situation. Look at that. Idea of You. Look at that. Seek Up, Idea of You, Gray Street, Death on the High Seas. Typical situation. Too Much, PNP, Rapunzel. That's a pretty dope ending. This is night one. A Tripping Billies, Granny's Tripping Billies to end out night one. One of the things that I do miss about SPAC that I seemed when I don't like when I went in 2018, I didn't really get this per se. Although 2018 night two was awesome, is you have this 3-song encore. So you have your I don't want to call it it is a throwaway, but Sister's a beautiful song, but it's a song that, it's SPAC. You don't want to just get that. So they had a Granny Tripping Billies. We don't get that as much, these encores, and that's okay because I'd rather go and beat the traffic. Still a great show. Raven, right? So even though there was no tour debuts, you get a Raven, you get a So Right, 4 of 6. You get a recent, look at that. So Right, Recently, Crash Into Me, Raven, Warehouse, Again and Again, Proud as Monkeys, Satellite, to One Sweet World at the 8 spot. This is what makes SPAC great. It's not the tour debuts. Look at that. One Sweet World pulled in at 8. Crushes in the mid set. Seek Up is 11. It goes right into An Idea of You, Gray Street, High Seas, Typical. Like I said, Too Much. This is night one. And night two was arguably one of the best shows of 16 because you did get a last stop. You got, look at this. Now, again, no tour debuts, but I just want to show you guys who may think, oh, this is what Pig, last stop, 41. I have this recording saved, and that's a heck of an out of the gate, right? It was one of 6 last stops, right? Last stop's only been played twice at SPAC. Pretty interesting. Pig, it was 6 of 10. But look at that. Look at that run. And then you have When the World Ends, Jane's, Proudest Monkey, Bismarck, right? Proudest Monkey and the Bismarck. A Bismarck is an underrated song. And looking back, the fact that this was played 25 times in a tour was special. You have a What Would You Say? Yes, you have one of those long mercies that were drawn out. But then you have a Nancy's, Rhyme and Reason, Say Goodbye, Watchtower closing out the main set, and you have a 2-step Ovine. So again, there were no actual tour debuts, but the tour had some special songs that you got at SPAC. One of 8 Pigs, one of 6 Last Stops, one of 9 Proudest Monkeys, one of 6. Well, no, we're not gonna talk about Mercy. One of 4 Rhyme and Reasons all tour. One of 6 Halloweens. One of 5 2-steps. So 2-step was only played 5 times in 2016, and that was with Boyd. That was the last Boyd year of 2-step, right? So you had one of 6 Say Goodbye. That's what made it special. And then if we go to 2018, I actually was at 18 night 2. You had 3 tour debuts night 1 and 2 tour debuts night 2. So you did get some special things debuting for SPAC. And these were shows that were in July. Let's go to 2018. I just want to walk you through this to show you kind of what, SPAC is a great venue, but it's not necessarily about tour debuts or rarity. It's about what they play from the tour. So now this one had 3 tour debuts. You start off with an abysmal Come Tomorrow. Then you get Raven as a tour debut. Stay or Leave, Gray Street, Grace, That Girl Is You. But then you get Warehouse Captain Minarets. A nice little run there of dope songs, especially Captain, one of 5 captains, one of 5 minarets, right? It was one of 3 Ravens that they played all tour. You get a mid-set Seek Up, again, a special thing. You get a Time Bomb tour debut, one of 4 Time Bombs. I love Time Bomb. I understand why people got sick of it because it was overplayed in the Big Whiskey era. Idea of You, and look at this encore, Some Devil Pig. You get a pig in the encore, Don't Drink the Water. And you get an Ants Marching set closer there for 18. Now the next show, excuse me. Oops. Let me bring up that thing again. Let me bring that beat back. Bring that set back to me again. 18, yeah, sorry guys. Hit the wrong button. SPAC. And now the other thing about this show, the next day, this was a 3-night weekend. They played Sunday in Quebec City, which they don't play that often. Now, this was a show I went to. And now this was a year where tour debuts were kind of special. You get Again and Again, which I love. I love that song. You can watch this show on YouTube. This is 7/14/18. Again and Again. ATR, Big Eye Fish. Don't get a fish tender, but bartender's coming up. Lover Lay Down. Right. 1 of 4 Big Eye Fish. 1 of 2 JTRs the entire tour. Lover Lay Down, 1 of 6. You get Satellite, Come On, Sledgehammer, which at that point, that show, I was turned up and I was dancing, having a ball. You get a Bayou, whatever. Here on out, that was cool. Crash Into Me. And then you get a Bartender. And this was a bartender where Buddy Strong, this is where going to the show matters. Buddy Strong really, for the first time that tour, took over the keys and gave us a Roy Moore era bartender, Jeff Coffin on the penny whistle as well. This really sounded like the old school bartenders. Get a Samurai Cop so you can go to the bathroom and Shake Me Like a Monkey. You got 2 songs so you go to the bathroom. 41. And then we got Do You Remember? Steady As We Go. And we get all the Jimmy things, She, Trash, all that stuff. PNB returns are cool. This encore, we get Sister, a 40 T's, Sister, and then we get Two Step, 1 of 2 2-steps that year. So this was a year where the tour debuts did hit for this show. Getting a bartender, because we weren't getting bartender. Buddy was learning the material, and he killed it. We got a JTR, right? Look at those are both 1 of 2. That's what made this year special is in 16. So you have, again, we zoom into here. We have for 18, the tour debuts mattered in 18, but they didn't matter in 16. But SPAC, still a great thing. Now in 2019, we only have 1 tour debut. And to me, I thought this was one of the weaker years. But again, a lot of what's reflecting on SPAC is what you're getting for the tour. 2016 had a lot of special tour songs. 25th anniversary. There were a lot of special things. So when we go to 19, this was on Sirius XM as well. Now we got a Joyride Liberation. this was the big thing for this show, was the Joyride Liberation at 12, right? So we get a Joyride Liberation. You get, outside of that, you get an early Tripping Billies. This stuff up here is okay. But this isn't like the first 10 songs, you don't really feel like it's a SPAC set. But that Joyride is special. But to me, this show, I know it's a night one. You did get a Water into Wine too, which was special. That was, one of 7. And you did get the Back in Black Staying Alive part. That was the debut of Back in Black Staying Alive, right? 1 of 9. Then it went to Flying Like an Eagle. So this is a night one, but this is one that, to me, like, I remember John was going, I was like, yo, SPAC is done, hyping him up about how great SPAC was. This was an okay night one. Joyride is really special. Now, night 2, to me, again, it didn't hit as hard. Now, here's the thing. You do get a JTR, right? You do get a JTR. You start off with the Bayou. You get the Bridge Too Much, Idea You, Cool, 1 of 8. Lying in the Hands of God, a special song. I think this run of Lying in the Hands of God, Pig, Again, 41, Can't Stop is, we exclude that, but then Say Goodbye. That's the bread and butter of the show, that run. And then you get a JTR, but everything else is okay. You get a number 40 Parcel towards the end of the set, but then you get a Sledgehammer encore. The Blue Water is cool. I remember hearing that. That was special. But then you get a PNP Rapunzel. So you could have left after Blue Water. So I think 19 was kind of lacking just because it didn't end on like a banger as far as PNP Rapunzel. It did have a nice little midsection here, but after Say Goodbye, you get JTR, and that's really it. Everything else is okay. The 40 Parcel is dope, but I mean, you're not getting a Stone, you're not getting, some other stuff. But to me, I just thought that 19 was a little bit of an odd year. Now, this year is more peculiar because SPAC is after the Gorge. Now, that has happened. If we look at 2000, I believe that did happen because in 2000, you look in 2000, oops, I zoomed into my master screen. If you look at 2000, the Gorge was in August. It wasn't Labor Day weekend. The Gorge was in August of 2000. What was interesting is for this year, for 2000, SPAC was only 1 year. A lot of people don't know this. SPAC was 1 year. Now, I guess if you were around that time, but SPAC was only 1 year. The Meadows had 3 shows. John says a number 40 opener. Hey, man, if you get that, kudos, man. I mean, they did kind of play some night 2 stuff tonight. Say Goodbye and Stay and all that. Like that stuff they kind of themed for Saturday. But what you have here, you had Hershey Park Stadium. So after Gorge, they went to Alpine. Then they went to Hershey Park Stadium, which was a big venue back in that day. They don't play it anymore. Fish plays it. I think the Grateful Dead played it. There's some bands who still play it. Not a good sound venue. It's like a football stadium type setup, but it's a small. It's almost like a high school. Hershey Park is like almost like a college like a mid-level college football stadium or a big high school football stadium that they put seats in, and but it did have a pretty good crowd. You had these 3 Hartford shows, which were legendary. This was like Hartford had got 3 shows twice, and this was one of the years. And then you had 1 night of SPAC. So they have played SPAC after the Gorge before, but it was only 1 night. But what was cool is these shows as well. If you check this out, DMB history, Live Tracks 3 is this show. Live Tracks, I think this is Live Tracks 11. I was listening to this show. Is it 11? Yep, Live Tracks 11. I was listening to this show earlier in the week. I ran 4 miles to this from the Stone to about, was it JTR? can't remember when I stopped my 4 miles. But I ran to this, and I love these two ones. Live Tracks 3, Live Tracks 11. What's cool about these shows, like the Stone opener, the JTR, they have a mid-set Watchtower, Don't Drink the Water to 41. This was a really, really dope show. And just the sound, where they were in 20 or in 2000 and 21 years ago was a special place. But I say all that to say that this was a special. This isn't the first time they've played after Gorge. But the later this show is, the fact that it's in September, the more tour debuts come out. But we still got, to me, a great tour debut in What You Are. We still got a great night 1. Night 2, you can expect maybe 1 to 2 tour debuts, maybe 3 if we're lucky. But really, you're gonna get, I think, some of the best parts of other shows. But to me, I thought this was, now John says the crowd wasn't as crazy as Deer Creek, and that can be understandable. Right. And Michael says if you want to guarantee number 40 at this point in your fandom, you go to SPAC, right? For a 30-second partial, 30 to 50 seconds most times is what you're getting for that number 40, depending on how you time it. But that's the thing, is that's the one thing that I say, like, people say, oh, Deer Creek and Alpine and this, you can't get a number 40 at Alpine. Even if they next year they decide to get Alpine, and again, that's a destination I want to go to. You could argue they have better sets at times than SPAC. Same with Deer Creek, but SPAC gets these unique, number 40. They get these two-step of Wings, which is two-step in the Halloween. They get 3-song encores. There's been some double encores. I really think when you look at the last like 15 years of this band, SPAC has had some amazing moments where you're like, the end of these shows, Dave loves playing SPAC. And he loves Alpine, he loves Deer Creek, but it's something. Yep, the Blue Water partial, we talked about that from 19, although I think 19 was a down year for SPAC, but that's saying a lot, I think, and even 18, when I went, I thought, some of the allure of 2014 and 2015 and 2012 were not fully there, but the band was in a different spot. They had Buddy Strong on, he was learning the material. But Buddy knows the material. He did his thing tonight. I loved You Never Know tonight, listening on Sirius XM. You could hear the piano and Dave's guitar as the highlighted key parts of that song. Everyone else fell in line behind them. I didn't hear much of, at least I don't remember hearing much of Roshan, where he's roaring down. 19 was a down year everywhere, to be honest. I think, 18 and 19 are unique years. I did go to the Gorge, and even at the Gorge, they closed with a 1-song Watchtower at the Gorge. Now, they did have Cortez. One thing about 19, they had Cortez, Susan Tedeschi, and Jacksonville, and then they had it at the Gorge where I was. So you did have Cortez, a song that you don't want to hear every night. It probably would get old. Even though it's an awesome Neil Young song, but they had 2 Cortezes in the same year, which was pretty cool. They had a Cortez in 18 as well for MSG. Warren lives in between New York and what's the other spot? North Carolina. I think it's Asheville, North Carolina. And the reason I know that is because I looked it up, but I also know Warren did shows. I saw Warren Haynes and Danny Lewis. So I still went to shows last October. I was blessed enough to get socially distanced concerts here out in Connecticut. And so I was at a Warren Haynes, Danny Lewis show here because he lives in New York City. So he just comes up, an hour and a half outside of New York City to a farm in Connecticut and did a couple shows and sold them out. And Mike says he's grateful. Michael says he's grateful that Gorge, that 2019. Yeah, that was worth the trip. That's Cortez the Killer. And I love Warren. I love the Allman Brothers. Behind me is an Allman Brothers band poster. I won't be going to the Betts. Was it the Allman Betts band? I won't be going to that because what I like about the Allmans is Derek and Warren. I'm not interested in seeing the Allmans Betts band, and they're not coming to Connecticut. I don't want to go to New York or Boston for that. If they were closer, I would check them out. I'm sure they're great, but to me, the poster of the show I went to behind me, Derek and Warren are two of my favorite guitarists, tone-wise, right? And teammate-wise, they distribute. They make sure they're so aware of where they are in a song, so they're not like overpowering other people, and they allow other people to shine. They know the right tone. They know the right crunch. I love Derek Trucks and Warren Haynes. Another thing, we're almost we're hour 13 in. Thank you guys for sticking with us. A couple of things here that I wanted to talk about tonight, especially because night 2, and maybe we'll get to more night 2. A couple of things I thought here. This isn't as big of a deal, but there was a whole thing here, and we'll look as my cooking videos. Cooking with your boy. Here it is. This situation kind of got me. Now this is Jeff taking a selfie of Dave's selfie. Oh, you went to Dead & Co on Monday? Where was Dead & Co? They did Deer Creek this week, right? Where did you go for Dead & Co? They're doing Wrigley tonight. I heard there were some storms. Deer Creek was later this week. Where'd you go for Dead & Co? I can't remember what was Monday. But anyway, this photo, what frustrates me, St. Louis. Oh yeah, because someone was talking about, I think they went on at like 6:30 Central Time in St. Louis. Like, did they, or they go, or like 7? Did they go to 7? Was it 7? I think someone was, because I'm in a couple of dead groups. I think they went on earlier than expected, and people were still in line for that one. And with the dead, they actually, for the Chicago run, real quick, they actually had you could have gone to, yeah, it's a long show. They do 2 sets. They have a 30-minute break. They have because they'll have 20, 30, 40,000. Where was the show in St. Louis? Was it in the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater in Maryland Heights? Was it I think it was Maryland Heights, right? I don't think it was at the Cardinals at Bush 2. Yeah, Maryland Heights. Yeah. So, like, for instance, the Wrigley show, some of these shows, they're like, for Wrigley, the 2 nights, you could have drove up to the United Center in Chicago and gone to a place like a parking lot at United Center yesterday. You get a special tour collectible, but you do your COVID check the day before. So they check everything. They give you a bracelet to wear, whatever, or they give you some sort of thing to say that they've checked you, and then you can go in tonight without it. But some of these shows, like the Wrigley, the City, they didn't have. Oh yeah, it was City Field too. I think they had a check where you could do the COVID check the day before. But they have 40,000 people for for this Wrigley and City Fields. You got to get into those shows early. Anyway, this DMB picture, I've talked to some people about this. I don't want to say the person who did this necessarily. I've heard he's a great person, the person who lifted this up. What frustrates me about this is it is just a selfie, right? It's just a selfie. I don't think Dave should have took the selfie, actually, to be honest. With this COVID scare, you're grabbing someone's sweaty phone, and then, you're getting, you're still distanced, but you're grabbing a phone. There's a potential to transmit. I mean, but it is what it is. But my thing with this whole situation is this. I think that the lesson that can be learned from this moment, where there's people behind this guy who want to be in the selfie, and he first of all, you're not supposed to have a poster like this in the pit. right? Whatever he did to get this in, I mean, hey man, he did something, right? So he lifts up his picture of Dave. There was an artist, I think her name was Whitney, who made the great picture. It'd be cool to have. And he bought one of the prints. Support local artists and small time artists for sure. We're gonna talk about that in a second too. But he puts this up and blocks everyone else, right? And the problem I have with this is this. Now, this is, hey, Dave Matthews is in front of you, right? You're so excited. He sees the canvas you bought, and you really want to get that special moment. But one thing that frustrates me of the DMB community is the self-awareness. Not that this is a learning, to me, a teachable lesson. The self-awareness to block other people. Yes, it's just a selfie, but the self-awareness to block other people, to sneak in a print when you're not supposed to have these large-scale signs. Yes, there's signs behind them. There's someone else right below here, I think, that had a sign in the Dave selfie. You can't see it there, but they had a sign, but it was like right below them at the front of the pit. It said, "It's my birthday," right? But it was in front of them. They weren't blocking anyone. But to me, the thing I don't like about DMB fans is the lack of self-awareness. And then people were defending this guy. Not to say he's not a bad person. Look, we all make mistakes. I've lived and learned, right? But he's blocking other people with this canvas. You're not supposed to have something that big in the pit. And people who wanted to have this moment with Dave were blocked. And people were like, "Oh, he's a nice guy. Oh, it was just this and that." It's not the fact that I'm not saying he's a bad person. This is Milwaukee. I mean, people up there in Wisconsin are super, super nice. I've met people. I've had worked with someone who lived up in Wisconsin and then moved out here. And she was really, really nice. Her whole family was nice. She went to high school with me, and very, very nice. But you're blocking somebody, right? And then people are like, "Oh, well, yeah, he just, good for him. He got his moment." But this is where, as DMB fans, we need to think about other people. And it's not just him. This is other things. And then people were like, "Hey, and this is in like private forums, and I won't, post it, that it stays private as far as what people, who said what." But people were like, "Oh, well, it's and be nice and be kind to him." And it's like, we're trying to be kind to him, but we're trying to explain, as a DMB fan, the lack of self-awareness. There could be a lesson here to say, hey, yes, you got your picture of Dave, right? If you want to go to the tour bus, which again, I don't like that type of stuff, but if you want to go to the tour bus and get it signed after, get it signed after. But to lift this up, it was only during the end of this show, wasn't during the music, right? So that's why it's not as big of a deal. But to me, still, this is what I don't like, is that people were trying to point out, as a fan, I would hate to be behind this person, right? In the pit, and he's blocking this shot where I could have had this moment with Dave. And he's like, "Oh, it's about my picture." And allegedly it was that Dave liked the picture. He wanted to take a selfie. But again, having the self-awareness to put it in front of you, maybe put it down below, and to just look after other fans, that's called be kind. Because someone was like, "Oh, be kind always, no matter," or whatever. Like, yeah, how you be kind is look out for the. So when you go to shows, when you have chances, and it frustrated me at one show, I met this guy, Nick. And shout out to Nick if you're watching. It wasn't him, because he was behind the soundboard, and he was kind of cool and respecting Rob. But other people hopped in the soundboard and were like harassing Rab for all this sort of stuff. "I want to set this, I want this, I want that," harassing him. And Rab has a mask on, trying to distance. He was waving to everyone, acknowledging that we were having a good time. He pointed to me, he pointed to everyone else, which is cool. But I just don't like this idea that people will do whatever it takes for their moment at the expense of other people. So when you have people walking in front of you, getting in a section, like there were empty seats next to me, but like people were hopping next to me and like trying to get, "Oh, I want to get this," like harassing Rab for all this stuff. I don't like that in the fan base. There's something about looking after other people, being self-aware, right? And the only way the reason I have such self-awareness is because my family taught me self-awareness through life and lessons. where I feel that I'm pretty self-aware about who I am, what I do, my strengths, my weaknesses, right? But that's what I don't like about the GM community is people do crazy things and they're like, hey, be kind always, no matter. No, don't be a jerk. Don't be the person who blocks other people's. Now, again, he didn't do it during the show, but it's just, let's all try to be considerate of one another. That's all I'll say there. And the other thing that was a little bit disappointing is, and we're going to have a show with John. And if anyone else has some poster history, poster knowledge, let me know. I want to get some people on because there was Mr. Mumford. If we go to Dan Mumford, and to be honest, I was at I didn't get any of his prints. I kind of wish I did get the Mansfield one, but I was saving that one poster for a year for something special to the Gorge, and he did the triptych to the Gorge, but I just I didn't end up getting it, and I tried for the reissue, but it sold out. But he had actually, I'm gonna like this there. But shout out to Dan because the thing with Dan is he had a special release. This is his page, Dan Mumford. He did the triptych. This is the Mansfield one, right? This is kind of a original sketch. And he also did this triptych, which in some ways I kind of skipped it because I didn't want to get in line, or like the Gorge lines that's kind of why I didn't get this. If one of these, even like the third panel, if this was like a Guilford, New Hampshire print, I would have probably purchased it. If it was like something like this, but it was like New Hampshire mountains, green mountains, I would have purchased it. But he had these awesome prints, and people on the DMB poster collectors pages were upset, like, oh, you should print more, and oh, I didn't get one, and they were complaining to him. He's contractually obligated to abide by certain rules, right? So his print, he's saying, wow, the prints went instantly. And the triptych was about 350 pounds, which I think was actually a really good market value because they're going for $1,000 for resale. So to get it for 350, this was a pretty good piece of art. I just didn't want to have to go in every day and have the stress of that during my trip to the Gorge. And I was waiting for like a night 3 poster to really hit, and it didn't. So in retrospect, I think if I would have loved to grab like the night 3 panel for this. And again, the Mansfield show was awesome. I just was again saving I said, I'm getting like one awesome DMB print this year. I was like, oh, something's gonna be better. Few things have been on the level of that Mansfield print Mumford did. So shout out to Dan Mumford. But the thing is, right? He has certain guidelines. He can't print 30,000 copies of this poster, right? You don't think he wants to, right? He can make if it was about the money, he could make a killing. And Dan's based out of London. That's why his stuff is in pounds, 350 pounds. So we want to make sure, that's why you have to, exchange rate or whatever. He's out of London. We want to give him his value for where he lives, his cost of living. But people were freaking out. They were freaking out and being mad. And that's what's kind of not good. And we're going to do a whole show on that with John Dix and some other people. And maybe we can try to look, I don't know if any artist would want to come on. I don't blame them if they don't want to. But it was disappointing to see on the DMB poster forums on Facebook, some of the attitudes and some of the look. Every single people know the drill too. They just want to vent to him and Dan has to follow certain rules, right? The whole idea of these posters is the value of this art is that there's limited editions. I would take a low quality print of any of these Mumford prints, but that's not how the game works, right? The artist, the musician that's asking for this request is saying, look, you do this, but you have to do these limited release. That justifies the pricing that we have. That also makes it so that these things have value, right? But anyway, I just want to say that, Dan, if you watch this, maybe I'll tag you in this, but Dan, thank you for what you did for the fans. My friend John, who was on earlier, has the triptych. That's a special keepsake. He's keeping that at his house. And he's not even going to trade those. You know, he gets a lot of posters to try to trade them for others. He's keeping that. The Mansfield print, I know a lot of people that, look, we're keeping them. I'm not trading this. I'm not trying to sell this even back for its value, face value for another, you know, to buy another poster. People are keeping these Mumford prints. They're keeping them. That's what I'm hearing from people in Mansfield and the people at the Gorge, is that these things are priceless, right? People have a foil from night 3 and they have 2 regular ones, and it's like this cool transition from 2 regular panels to the foil, which lights up and it's bright, right? But I just think that people, as a community, and I salute some of the moderators of the poster forums, they did call out people, they did delete tweets, but we have to do better overall. We have to hold each other accountable to respect these artists who, again, this is their living. COVID hit too, and they didn't have, you know, they have other drawing things they do, but they didn't have this source of income. So we do want to make sure we try to buy from them, we support them. If we see a Mumford print at a Black Keys show or at an Humphreys McGee show, let's support them, right? Some of the lesser known, you know, they don't all, you know, a lot of bands, you don't get this DMB sellout of posters. So we want to, if you see a Mumford print at another show, support him, because he did a great job with what he did for these prints. But that's all I wanted to say on that, is that we need to be better with one another, considerate of one another. We need to be respectful of these artists, right? There's a bad rap with some DMB fans. It's why I didn't join the live scene of these shows, because some fans are jerks, right? Some fans they're arrogant. They're about themselves. It's not everyone, but it's something that in the mid 2000s and the early 2000s, when I was a kid, that's what the reputation of DMB was. As the fan base has gotten older, I think things have gotten a little bit better. But we still need to represent this fan base the right way by respecting others, caring for one another, and being considerate, right? I always try to, if I'm in the way of someone when I'm taking videos, I try to be considerate. If I'm too close to someone, look, we figure out a way to work it out, right? If I'm in the wrong seat, one time I went to the wrong seats, and I was like just nervous at a new venue by myself. I went to the wrong seats. Like, oh, sorry, let me adjust. Let's be kind to one another. That's all I got for tonight. Thank you guys for the support. Everyone that came in. We had John Dix, John O gave some notes. Matt S gave some notes on the chat. Rocco, thanks for being on. Richard, Chippy D, everyone that was on tonight, we really appreciate you. Even everyone who's in the background. Again, I met some of you guys at the Gorge that, you know, not everyone has to comment here, but I know some of you guys watch these streams. You don't necessarily comment, but you enjoy these streams. Thank you guys for the support. We'll see you tomorrow night, probably around 11 p.m. Eastern is that goal again. We'll see how long it runs. If we get a double encore, I'll have to wait a little bit, but it's your boy ConcertViz34. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.